Hey, what's going on? Right about now, the internet is in a frenzy, and they have every right to be. Behind what you see in the background, this BS Destiny 2. Now, there have been claims going around that came out of these developers' mouth and these journalists' mouth, indicating that Destiny 2 will not be held back due to the last gen consoles, you know, the PS3 and the Xbox 360. As that was their excuse when Destiny 1 launched, but I knew that was BS. So now they got all this power with the hardware, and here Destiny 2 still gonna be 1080p, 30 frames per second. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Now for the PS4 Pro, they got some footage out there for the PS4 Pro, and it's 1080p, 30 frames per second. 1080p, 30 frames per second on the Pro. But they claim that it's supposed to be a new game. The footage that they release, if it didn't have Destiny 2 in the title, you would swear that it was DLC for Destiny 1. It looks and plays just like Destiny 1. Unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. A new game ain't even supposed to remind you of the old. It's supposed to be brand new. The only thing that's supposed to be familiar is the characters. That's it. They got same enemies that they had in the last Destiny in the new Destiny. What kind of crap is that? Same powers and all. Like, there's got to be some DLC expansion pack that didn't make the cut. They made DLC for Destiny 1 and it didn't make the cut, and they say, you know what? We gotta get paid for this. We gotta get paid for this. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. This ain't no Destiny 2. This is Destiny 1.1 patch notes update. That's what it is, man. Destiny 2 is Destiny 1.1 patch notes update. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Where is, and I'm looking at the footage, and why is it that they put this in these video games? This is not only in Destiny. This is in first person shooters, period. Why is it that they got this little clip in there? I don't know if people be noticing this, but there's times, like say you run out of bullets and you hit the reload button. The character does the animation of putting a new clip in the gun. And let's say something happens, and right before the character goes to cock the gun, let's say you have to melee somebody. You interrupt the gun cocking animation and you melee somebody. Why is it that he has to put a whole new goddamn clip in the freaking gun if he already put one in it? Does that make any goddamn sense? Like, why? Why do I have to put a new clip in the gun if it already has a clip in the gun? Shouldn't I just resume animation and cock the freaking gun? I'm looking at this like this ain't no new game, man. It's the same old BS. Destiny 2 is Destiny 1.1 patch notes update DLC that didn't make the cut. Unacceptable, man. And the people that was playing was trash. Trash. They made the game even worse. Trash. Like this dude was meleeing from across the screen. What he thought he was playing, that stretch arm game for Switch? This dude thought he was playing arms, trying to hit a character way across the screen with a melee? Like what vagina you came out of? Who are these people? What corner of the earth they came from? Destiny 2, man, I'm canceling my pre-order. I'm done with it. You know what I mean? PC is the only one who's, the PC players are the only one who's actually going to fully experience Destiny. They're going to get the 4K with the 60 frames. Shout out to PC. Shout out to the PC players, man. Y'all going to get the full experience. But the consoles, as much money, because they make way more money on these consoles with these games than they do PC. Certain games. Now I mean, in regards to like first-person shooters, certain first-person shooter titles. They make way more. But yet, these people always talking about fully optimizing. They talk about fully optimizing the game for the PS4 Pro. Really? 1080p 30 frames is fully optimized? So what is the PS4? What is the PS4? The PS4 is 1080p 30 frames. So here you have an upgraded PS4, more GPU, more CPU power, and you get the same crap. These guys always coming up with some BS excuse talking about, oh, we want to make the game balanced. We don't want the game to be 60 frames on the Pro and 30 frames on the Quad. Shut up. Shut up. Show lazy ass up. Make 2 lobbies. 30 frames lobby, 60 frame lobby. Problem solved. Make 2 freaking lobbies. Since you really want to bring new implementations into a game, you know what I'm saying? Make a lobby where it's 30 frames per second. When you make the options where the player would have 30 frames, or they could select 60 frames on a Pro. And for the regular PS4, they just be 30 frames. So they just automatically, or if you could dumb the resolution down, 900p that mother dudder. 900p it if you got to. 900p it to get the 60 frames. And give the people the options. Give them the options. Options. Don't force a gameplay. Options is necessary. Make a 30 frame lobby and a 60 frame lobby. We ain't talking about the campaign. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to the campaign later. We're talking about online multiplayer. Make 2 lobbies. You could do it. It could be done. Stop being lazy. It can be done. Make a 30 frames per second lobby and a 60 frames per second lobby. Based upon the settings, how the user feel comfortable playing. They might not feel comfortable playing in 60 frames. So they have the ability to choose the 30 frames. And then when they go online, they will only go into 30 frames per second lobby. And for those who select the 60 frames per second options on the standard PS4 with dumbing down the resolution if you got to, or the Pro, 1440p checkerboard, 1800p checkerboard, whichever checker the way you want to checker the board, you checker it up. Check. And you do that with the 60 frames and they go in the lobby. Problem solved. Stop coming up with all these freaking excuses because your ass is lazy. Who the hell is up in these meetings? They all need to be fired. They've been running that BS excuse for so goddamn long. Oh, we don't want to separate the freaking community. Well, bring the goddamn community together. Create the stage. Because you are separating the community when you force them to play at a BS resolution and a BS frame rate. Here they saying that they don't want to give the ones on the Pro 60 frames per second and then give those on the quad 30 frames per second because it would be unbalanced. So within that statement, you are clearly identifying that when you purposefully make a game 30 frames per second, you are undermining the entire community. Because if you was to make the game 60 frames per second, that would increase their gameplay overallness. Everything would be increased. Kill count, accuracy, everything. So the statistics that you got now on the leaderboards is a 30 frames per second misfire. That ain't even real. Because it's based on limitations. You give the user the ability to use, and that enhances their experience. If you put them in a limited space, all of those numbers, the statistics, is limited. And you clearly identify that by saying we don't want to give the ones with the 60 frames per second an advantage over the 30 frames. So you're going to give everybody a disadvantage. Because your ass want to be lazy. You don't want to make 2 lobbies, which ain't hard at all. If it's hard for y'all to make 2 lobbies, then y'all ain't no goddamn professional game developers. Y'all still in the novice mode. Y'all still in the novice. Making games all these goddamn years and y'all ain't bringing nothing new to the table. PS3 was doing 1080p 60 frames per second. I remember the first game that PS3 launched, some Marvel Alliance game, 1080p 60 frames. Here we are in a supposedly next gen, and can't get 1080p 60 as a standard? Man, what is this BS that's going on? What is this BS? Who's doing the hiring? Stop making excuses. Create 2 lobbies. 30 frames and 60 frames. Whether it's 900p, 60 frames, 1080p, 30 frames, 1440p, 60 frames, 1440p, 30 frames, 1800p, whatever freaking P. Just make sure the P's is popping. Just make sure the P's is popping. Because right about now, these P's ain't popping, son. You know what I mean? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And then these people up there sitting up there hyping the game up like it's popping. On stage, well, you know, we doing this, doing it. Shut the hell up. With your lying ass. You know what I mean? Shut your hell up. Shut the hell up. With your lying ass. I canceled my pre-order. Straight up. Destiny 2 is going to be the same old BS. Same old BS graphics. Just a little more sparkles here and there, which don't mean a goddamn thing. Same old whack ass guns. You know what I mean? I haven't seen guns that, you know, that look good. They had some eye weapons up in there. And the same old layout. It's the same old layout. I mean, you can't even fly the freaking ship in the loading screen. The same old freaking layout. It's the same thing. The same thing. The same BS loading screen. The same diving down into nowhere. The same moving into the clouds. The same BS bike The same BS Ghost. He ain't even get a voice upgrade. Where's the patch notes for his voice upgrade? You know what I'm saying? It's the same crap. The hell with Destiny 2.